Jerry Wampfler. The late Jerry Wampfler graduated from New Philadelphia High School. He was an All-Ohio tackle and played in the North-South game. He was an All-Conference tackle at Miami of Ohio for Coach Woody Hayes. He coached at Miami of Ohio for Bo Schembechler. He was the offensive line coach at Notre Dame for their 1966 national championship team. In 1970, he was named the head football coach at Colorado State. In 1973, he became defensive line coach for the Philadelphia Eagles and was an assistant coach on the Eagles' 1980 Super Bowl team. He retired from the Detroit Lions in 1994. In his 20-year NFL coaching career, Jerry coached an All-Pro in the NFL at every offensive line position. He was inducted into the New Philadelphia High School Athletic Hall of Fame in 2013. Accepting the honor on behalf of the late Jerry Wampfler is his son, Tad. Please welcome into the Tuscarawas County Sports Hall of Fame, Jerry Wampfler.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi, I am really proud to say I am Jerry Wampfler's son, Tad Wampfler. On behalf of my father, thank you so much for this incredible honor. I know it brought him to tears when Tom called him up and told him about it. And certainly congratulations to all the people and teams getting honors tonight. It's tremendous. My dad was an offensive line coach primarily for 40 years, helping to build the legacy of numerous Hall of Fame coaches. Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, Ara Parsegan. With Ara, as we said, it was 1966 national champions, undefeated team, just considered one of the best teams in the history of college football. And then in 1980 with Dick Vermeil and the Super Bowl that we got to go to that year. They didn't win, but they had a phenomenal season. He developed numerous All-Pros, as we said, at each position. And he coached the offensive line that opened the holes for Barry Sanders' Hall of Fame career. So a lot of talent. But I know if Dad was here, that's not what he'd be talking about. He'd want to be talking about the people that really supported him and got him to this place. So we'll start with my mom, Carol, who for 70 years stood at his side, moved 20 plus times, and raised my two sisters and I. He would talk about New Philadelphia coach Bill Kidd, who went to my dad's parents on the farm and basically pleaded with them to let him play football. And they finally relented and said, but he still has to get all his farm chores done. So here was a teenage boy who got up in the morning, did farm chores, went to school, went to practice, came home, did farm chores. Numerous times he wanted to quit. He wanted to quit school, go back to the farm, he wanted to quit football. But Coach Kidd encouraged him and kept him in school and on the team. And I think that's today what's known as building grit. He said, you can fight through this. And he did. And he did so in a way such that Woody Hayes brought Dad to Miami of Ohio. And Dad got to play offensive tackle there. Got the crap kicked out of him. He was a small offensive lineman. And he was failing in school. So one day he had had enough. He packed his bags and started hitchhiking home to New Philadelphia. And fortunately, Woody Hayes, somebody told Woody, Woody drove by and picked him up and told him that he was a fighter. And he had to fight through the good days and the bad days academically and the good days and bad days on the football field. And he did. He ended up graduating from Miami, getting 2 degrees. He was a starting offensive tackle there. And it certainly propelled him onto his great career. Again, building grit along the way. This building grit theme really became Dad's mantra as a coach then as well. I can tell you as a kid, often nights he didn't come home. He slept in the office, making sure that he prepared his players to be the best they could be for that week's games. He wasn't a real friendly guy, let's say this, he wasn't a real loved guy by his players oftentimes because he pushed them harder than they wanted to be pushed. But those players, well, I'll come back and tell you what a few of them did anyways. But to pay it forward, my parents created the annual Grit Award and Scholarship for a lineman on the New Philadelphia High School football team. Now, unlike most awards, notable athletic accomplishments and stellar classroom grades are not part of this award. We are recognizing great effort and character. The grinder, the kid that just never gives up and keeps coming to practice. They may or may not be a starter. They may or not ever see playing time, but that's the kids we're trying to recognize. So when my dad passed this past January, I was touched by the past players and coaches who contacted me with some of the great stories that they had. My dad was there, Bill Kidd. He was there, Woody Hayes. They also made donations to this Grit Scholarship Fund, which led us to triple the size of the award. So Dad's legacy will encourage others for years to come. Without Bill Kidd and Woody Hayes, my dad probably wouldn't have made it through high school, college, and ultimately prestigious NFL career. So in conclusion, I challenge you to make a difference. Be someone's Jerry Wampfler. Thank you.